Welcome to Creatively by Estelle, a podcast for creative and performing artists. My name is Estelle Avbuere, and I'm your host. Whether you're just starting or you're a pro, this show will help you feel inspired and motivated every single week along your creative journey, and will give you tactical tools and tips for fulfilling your creative goals and your God-given purpose as a creative person. You have gifts to give, so let's do this. Let's live creatively, and let's get into the episode. All right, so I'm here with my sister, Eloise Avbuere, and today we have a bit of a different structure of our interview. It's really going to be a conversation with my sister. We're going to be talking about musicals. You're going to be talking about singing, about creativity. So, hi, Eloise. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Good. Okay, so I know that you love musical theater too. Maybe not as much as I do. But you do you do love musicals, you love to sing. We all grew up singing in our house. So let's start there. What are some of your first memories of being creative and being an artist and singing?
Well, I always sing in church. Like whenever we do the kids would lead and would sing in church, I would always be singing and dancing as well. And I've been in choir since third grade. So I've been doing it for a while. And I also, when I was in elementary school, I used to be in drama, and I would do plays, but I stopped doing that because of sports.
Mm-hmm. So how do you still keep creativity in your life now?
Yes, I'm still in choir. I still take 2 choir classes.
Mm-hmm. And you sing in church.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think it's a good example that as you go throughout the rest of your life, you can always keep, using your creative gifts, whether it's as a hobbyist, as an emerging artist, as a side hustle, as a professional, everyone can keep the arts in their lives in some way if you have gifts in that, or if you're drawn to that in any way. It's for everyone and anyone in however way you want it to be in your life. So that's good. Oh. When did you first get into musical theater, and did it have to do with Glee?
No, I think the first one was I don't know. But it definitely wasn't Glee. I feel like I watched musicals. I think it was Wicked. I think it was you guys would always be listening to the Wicked soundtrack. I think it was Wicked. And then it was the Legally Blonde soundtrack. I remember that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hamilton, it's a major one. And then I think Glee continued it. And
yeah, that makes sense. That's kind of how I got into it too. It started with Wicked too for me, when Edwina, our older sister, went on a choir trip and they saw Wicked, and she would always listen to the soundtrack. So I think that's how. I mean, I'd always liked musical theater. I loved Dreamgirls, and we always watched Dreamgirls, but I think Wicked was one that really drew me in too. And then when I got to see it on Broadway, that just drew me in even more. So yeah. And then of course Glee. Glee, I don't know, something about that crazy show just I felt inspired me to keep singing and to keep wanting to grow as a singer. Did it inspire you too, or did musicals inspire you? What inspires you creatively, if anything?
I mean, Glee is my favorite show, so I feel yes, it helps me. It helps me to when I think about singing and performing, I don't know, it just helps me to, if I'm nervous about having to perform for the talent show, I just because I sang one of the songs from Glee at my school's talent show, so seeing that and seeing them perform it just kind of helped me and helped me overcome my fear of singing on and performing in front of people. And yeah, and it just Glee and musicals just helped my love of music and wanting to perform, because I saw people doing it, so I wanted to do it too.
Yeah. That's there are so many good gems in what you just said. One of them being that the confidence thing is like that's why the performing arts are so important and impactful to anyone at any age, but especially when you're younger, even if you're just doing it for fun, like you will it will boost your confidence in some way. It will stretch you to go outside step outside of your comfort zone, and it will just and even if you yourself are not doing it, just seeing someone else, seeing people do it on TV and like or on stage and seeing people perform, like it just makes you want to also kind of find that confidence in yourself, and it helps you with like just learning about stage presence, performing, singing, being on stage like helps you with so many other things because it helps you with public speaking, it helps you with being conversational because you have that experience, being in front of other people and presenting something. So I just think the confidence piece is so cool to hear that it helped you kind of boost your confidence because you see honestly you see on Glee, like you see all the characters being like, oh, I want to be on stage, oh, I want to do this, and it kind of empowers you to dream big too and to want to be that confident and to put yourself out there too, which is amazing. So that's good. I also like that you talked about how um it helped foster your love for just singing and music in general, which is great too. Like, we aren't meant to live in a vacuum. So we need other people, other things around us. And those people could be people on a television show or more so people in our lives to like help build us up and be like, oh, like this is an interesting thing. Like listening to these songs, look into, understanding music more. We it's not just like ourselves that draw us to certain artistic things. It's sometimes it's like being around other people who like those things that draws us in. So, oh, I love that. Great. Great, great, great. So do you feel like performing in those talent shows and being on stage helped you overcome your fear of singing and being in front of people? Or I mean, I think that it always like you everyone always feels that fear because you're human, even the most professional of performers and artists still have that sense of vulnerability when you're about to perform, right? Because performing and being creative are very vulnerable things. So, do you feel like it helped you overcome your fear a little bit just by putting yourself out there and performing?
Um, I feel like yes, it did help me to like grow my confidence. But I feel like another thing that helped me is just like the more you do it and the like more often you do it, it's gonna like get better. Like obviously I still feel nervous, but like I did it before. I've done it this time. I've done it this time. I can do it now. Like it's fine.
Absolutely. And I talked about this on an episode. By the time this comes out, it'll be like a couple episodes ago where I talked about how to sing with confidence, or it'll be several episodes ago, but I talked about how to sing with confidence. And one of the things I talked about was literally what you just said, Eloise, which is that you have to practice doing it. Like confidence comes by in the doing, right? And taking action. Most people in their personality, like some people have personalities that are just naturally more confident than others. That's fine. But even people who have that personality trait are still going to experience, needing to build up that confidence in a new thing. Like if you've never sung before on stage, no matter how naturally confident you are, you're not going to be as confident as you would be if you had done it like 10 times before. So it's like the more you practice singing in front of people, in front of a video camera, if you're doing a cover or submitting an audition, or just singing in general, just to practice. Like the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to get with your voice, of course. And then the more comfortable you're going to get in front of people. So it takes that like repetition of practice and really putting yourself out there. So proud of you. Good job. It's good because not everyone, you know, can do that. And when you're able to do that, it's like the start of, some the start of something new. Why did I say that? But it's like the start of you being like, wow, I can do hard things. I can accomplish things that were challenging. And look, it's not as challenging because I've gotten over that hill. So Okay, so let's talk about some of our favorite musical moments because, of course, on this show, we want to empower people to use their God given creative gifts, especially in the performing arts. But you know, I know that the people who are listening to this show, like if you know me, if you know anything about me, you know that I love musicals and I literally have a group coaching program that's for people who want to sing musical theater songs. So, yeah, we love musicals here. Let's talk about some of our favorite shows and moments that inspire us and like why they inspire us and yeah, let's just talk about music a little bit. So, what's your favorite? What's your like favorite show right now?
Hamilton.
Okay,
It's
understandable.
always gonna be Hamilton.
Understandably, yeah, I understand. Okay, so actually, we just saw it at the Tanger Center in North Carolina. So, tell us, seeing it live versus watching it on Disney Plus, which was also great. What are your conclusions? How did you like the live version?
Okay, even before seeing it in on Disney Plus, like listening to the soundtrack over and over again, there were so many things that I didn't know. Like there's so many things that you like when you listen to the soundtrack versus seeing it in person and like actually seeing the actors act it out. Like there's so many like differences, and it's like it's crazy because like there's just so many things that I've missed, and also there's a lot of songs that I didn't listen to. Like I love Hamilton, but there's a lot of songs that I listened to them, but like 9 times out of 10 I would skip them and I would just
Oh.
listen to my favorites. But with like seeing it live, you're gonna notice more things, and you're gonna like I'm gonna like certain songs more because I actually like see them because it's easier to like a song or in a musical when there's like acting. It's kind of easier to like a song more if you like see it in see it live or see it in person. So that helped me to like seeing it on Disney Plus helped me to like grow more appreciation for the show as a whole and actually like really like it more and actually like want to listen to the soundtrack and like listen to all the songs. But then seeing it live with all these new faces that I haven't
And
seen before and never
voices.
heard and voices, yeah. And honestly, like it was really good. Like it was a really good show. It was a really good fun time. But it was just like I just kept comparing it to the original cast. Like over and over again, I would compare. Oh, he doesn't sound like Lin Manuel Miranda. Oh, he doesn't sound like Jasmine Cephas Jones. She doesn't sound like Jasmine Cephas Jones. So I just like I don't know. I was just comparing them in my head. So
Yeah.
that was like a main difference in why I was just I don't know. I knew going into it and it wasn't Lin Manuel Miranda was not going to be playing Hamilton. Like I knew that, but I feel like I didn't really know until he started singing. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
so. But other than that, it was a really good show. And I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I'm glad I got to see it live. It was a great experience.
Yeah. I feel like halfway through you had to just come to the terms with like, okay, I need to be okay with the fact that this is not the original cast. I need to appreciate this cast for what they are. And they did a great job. Um but yeah, it's definitely jarring when you've heard the original soundtrack so many times and then you hear it and you see it live and you're like, "Oh, interesting." But they sounded great, honestly. They were a really good cast. And yeah, I think also that just happens when you're not in the original cast for a new show, you know. Like if it's like an older show like Phantom that's been running forever, like Phantom of the Opera or Cats that have actually is Cats still running? I don't think so,
I
but
don't think so.
definitely well, Cats is like always run. I don't know. Guys, check me on that. But I know Phantom is like for Phantom for instance, like you like I listened to the I think I listened to I think I listened to the London recording, cast recording. I don't even know. But even then, it's like so many people at this point have redone it and done so many of the songs that it really, to me, is not that jarring to hear. I don't think it would be that jarring to see it live and see like another cast do it. But for Hamilton, because it's still relatively, it's not new, but it's a relatively modern, like contemporary show. And the original cast was such a strong cast and we're was such a public cast. Like everyone knows Lin Manuel Miranda. A lot of people know Jasmine Cephas Jones,
Anthony Ramos.
Anthony Ramos, exactly. and all the other incredible actors and actresses. So it's like harder to take their voices out of your head because they performed it so many times in different instances. So yeah, interesting. Okay, what are some songs from the show that really speak to you and why?
Satisfied. I like
Hmm.
that one a lot. I like, um, obviously, Angelica sounds very good on that one. And I like that one because it tells like a story. I like when songs
Hmm.
tell stories, so
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. I guess all the songs in Hamilton are telling stories technically, but I like Satisfied.
Yeah.
And then I love Jonathan Groff, so You'll Be Back is probably my favorite. So
Oh,
good.
connects back to Glee.
Yes, because he's also in Glee. Um,
Yes.
I try to think. The Battle of Yorktown, I like that one. Is that the name of the song? The Battle.
Battle of Yorktown.
Is that the name of it?
17.
That one. Whatever that one is.
1781. Is that no, that's not
I
it's not
don't think
81.
it's.
Is it? That's not the right date, but you know what I mean.
Is that the name? Is it Battle of Yorktown?
Well,
I
now I
think
can't
so.
remember. Let's look it up.
Whatever that one is. I like that one.
Oh, not it bringing up the historical. I mean Hamilton. Oh yeah, Yorktown, the world turned upside down.
Okay, yeah. That one.
The world
I like
turned.
that one.
Yes. Oh, can't be singing it on the show. Copyright. Sorry, but yes.
Right. That one is really good.
Yes, it's very good. And again, the story, like they're literally talking about this entire battle in a span of like 4 minutes. So that's why I love musicals too so much is that, and just the arts in general. It's so cool to see how stories can be told in so many different ways. So yeah, we love storytelling through musicals, through singing. What are other do you are there any other ways that you love storytelling and like any other ways that you see how creativity has impacted you?
Are you talking about books and reading?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I mean, I guess reading is like another way that you can talk about storytelling. Obviously, that's what books are, and that's the author's way of being creative
Yeah.
and telling stories.
And isn't it cool
their
how
books.
so many books become musicals or movies or musical movies?
Like what?
Like I'm pretty sure Wicked is definitely based on a book, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
Well, yeah, because The Wizard of Oz is based on a book, and then Wicked is based on a book too, and then other ones I can't think of right now. I mean, Lin-Manuel wrote Hamilton because of the book by the biography about Alexander Hamilton. So not really based on a book, based on someone's life, but was inspired by a book. So there's that. And then of course there are tons of movies that have become books and shows and everything. So it's just cool how storytelling can like cross over so many different like types of artistry and creativity. Like it could be writing, could be music, could be theater, so could be film. And speaking of, are there any upcoming like musical movies or any upcoming like things that you're interested in or excited about that are like kind of creatively speak to you?
The Elvis movie starring Austin Butler next week.
Not as advertising for them. And by the time this comes out, it might have already come out.
And I would have already seen it, so I probably already loved it. So yes, I'm very excited about this movie. I can't wait to see it.
We do not get paid for saying any of this, just so you know. But yeah, so yeah, why are you excited to see it?
Well, I think Austin Butler is a great actor. And I think I don't really know much about Elvis, but like the way that they've been advertising it and like the song that I keep hearing like by Doja Cat and I just like and I like the way that Austin Butler has been like method acting for this role, like preparing for this role, like literally getting into the character of Elvis. And the way he like still like if you watch his interviews, he still is like talking like Elvis and like acting like him. So like if he's like preparing for this role that well, then like I mean I think it's gonna be pretty accurate. I mean I don't know much about Elvis Presley, but from what I've seen, I feel like it's gonna be pretty good. I feel like it's gonna be a very accurate representation of what Elvis Presley was actually like. And I think the movie overall is just gonna be good, and also we'll have music in it because Austin Butler is singing. So
Oh, I didn't know that he was actually the one singing. That's cool. Well, I think that this was overall a really good discussion talking about why musicals and musical theater inspires us and how it inspires you and how it's helped you to really overcome fear, build confidence, and just love creativity and storytelling. So, and honestly, all of this all goes back to people using their gifts, right? And using your artistic gifts. Because otherwise, how will people be inspired, right? How will people, you know, people will be missing out on being inspired to then boost their confidence and put themselves out there as well. So you using your gifts, like you as Eloise using your gifts, singing and performing too, like even if you're just doing it for fun, like you're building your confidence and you're helping other people be inspired to do the same. So it's so cool. I love to hear about it. Thank you for sharing. Is there anything else you want to share with the creative who might be listening to help inspire them to, I don't know, explore singing, explore musicals, explore theater, and try to find some way to be creative in their lives as a creative outlet?
if you want to sing, if you want to dance, if you want to act, I think that you should do it. And I think that you should like don't be nervous, don't be scared. I think that you should just give it a try because I mean you can always like stop and you can always not do it. But I think you should give it a try because I'm sure it'll be good and I'm sure that it'll be fun. So
Yeah.
and I think that like the arts are very helpful to people and have really impacted people. And so I think that the more people that get into the arts, like the more that it'll continue to help more people around the world and continue to inspire people. So I think that everyone should try their hand at it.
Yay. That was really good. And you're going to go to college soon. So are you going to keep the arts in your life? No pressure, but you better. Just kidding. Are you though?
I don't know. I mean, like, college is different. It's like, I don't know, like, what
Mm-hmm.
I would, like, even do. Like, they
Yeah.
don't have, like, choirs. Like, I go to a very small school. So I don't know, like, having to, like, audition for a choir. I mean, I did audition to get into the group that I'm in now, but, like, that was different. Like, it was very much small. And
Oh,
there's,
cool.
yeah. And so, like, going to, like, a big college and going to, like, and there's obviously going to be people that are better than me and stuff. So I don't know. We'll
Well,
see.
not
But
necessarily better. Maybe just different. But, you know, I think that that's okay too. Even if you didn't actually like actively do something in a specifically creative realm, you already have these experiences with the arts that you will always have and that will always be there. And again, you have that confidence that you've built that's always going to be there with you, helping you in everything that you do. So there you go. The arts always stay with you. Love that. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And thank you for inspiring everyone to just keep creating. So, yeah.
thank you for having me on.
Oh, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Creatively by Estelle. I hope you feel encouraged by today's episode as you start this week. And if you have a moment, I would love for you to just share this episode with a friend if you liked it or with someone who you think this could be encouraging to. It would really help this show. Also, if you really loved this episode, if you wouldn't mind going to Apple Podcasts and leaving a review and rating this show, it would really help us reach more people through this show and grow our Creatively community. All right, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week.